With a lot of events happening around the state and the holidays coming up, we want to encourage everybody to drive sober and be aware of their surroundings. Here to tell us how we can do all of that as a community, we bring in Thomas of the Hawaii Island Police Department. Thomas, thank you so much for coming on Living 808.
Thank you.
We're going to start off with the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. Tell us about your involvement in that campaign.
With the Hawaii County Police Department, it's a national campaign that incorporates all the different departments within the United States, and all law enforcement agencies partake in that. And the main goal of it is to make sure that people arrive where they need to go, but also to encourage people to drive sober or not impaired under either alcohol, drugs, or a combination of both.
Let's talk about your position in the Hawaii Island Police Department. What is that, and what does that entail?
Right now, I'm the traffic enforcement sergeant for the West Hawaii area, or the west side of the island for the Hawaii County Police Department. I am also the drug recognition expert coordinator for the West Hawaii portion of the Big Island. So what that entails is I have drug recognition experts, or people who are designed and trained to detect people operating under the influence of intoxicants, of substances other than alcohol. So that would be your prescription drugs, any illegal or illicit drugs, and also with the introduction of now the non-scheduled drugs being any items that you can go to your local smoke shops, such as kava, kratom, and those types of substances. Now, under the new law and the verbiage that they're using for drugs, it contains any substance that changes the person's normal functions or causes impairment. So like if you use high doses of kava, it'll impair you because it is a depressant as well.
Let's piggyback on the topic of impaired driving. What does that look like on Hawaii Island?
Right now for impaired driving, what we're noticing is since the pandemic has started to change now and you're seeing a lot more people on the roadway, we're seeing a lot more people that are taking more risks than they would normally do. So we did see an increase as far as people operating under the influence of, we're moving away from alcohol just under the term intoxicant, because we're seeing people operating vehicles under alcohol along with prescription meds, but also mixing different types of drugs together, where we're seeing the people that are using methamphetamine along with marijuana or cannabis. But we're also seeing people mixing alcohol with prescription meds, even though they see on the label that you shouldn't operate any type of machinery or vehicles while using that medication, but they're also mixing it with drugs.
Yeah. Let's talk about the blood alcohol content. What are some of the effects of somebody who's driving with a high dosage of BAC?
Well, as soon as you start getting over a 0.05, you notice the changes where it's going to affect your judgment, your reaction time too. So with alcohol being a depressant, it's going to slow things down.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to react to, such as a vehicle stopping on the roadway or come to a sudden stop. By the time your brain processes, it's going to be a little longer. We've all been to family parties where you see the intoxicated person, where their balance is compromised, the speech is slurred. You notice that they have the dazing, glassy eyes look. You know, they're not moving. Normal people would not act that way. So if you see somebody not acting like you normally do, that's probably mean they're impaired under some type of substance. We need to also be aware that, you know, our actions affect everybody else as well.
For sure.
Not only your family. And the thing is, we want to make sure that everybody gets to where they need to, but also it really hurts when you have to tell a family member that one of their loved ones was killed in a traffic crash, especially when they contributed to their own death, where they're the ones that were driving impaired, or if their loved ones killed someone else. That is not something we want to do. So we want to make sure we keep our fatality rate down, but we need to make better choices as a public.
Thomas, thank you so much for coming on to the Living 808 set and informing all of our viewers out there. I know that was a lot of information to take in. We'll have a kind of a rundown on KHON2.com. Stay with us. We'll have more on Living 808 when we return. Thanks, Thomas.